All the parties are present. I understand Mr. Torberson can't, he's stuck in some other hearing or something.
Yeah, he is not available at the moment, Your Honor. He said we can go ahead and proceed.
Okay.
He apologizes. But
No, yeah, I mean, it's okay. At least one of you's here. So all the parties are here. Everybody's present, except for Mr. Torberson because of conflict. One thing I do want to say before we bring the jury in, this case is obviously very emotional, very difficult for everybody, and I just want you all to realize that this is the process. I still expect there to be decorum. I expect there not to, I'd ask you not to shout out, not to say one thing or another. Please leave orderly at the end, whatever the result may be. And I'll say, and just one last thing is that a case like this, and I've had a number of them, it is raw emotion which is there, and I know that. It is very important that we deal with this in this way. And so I ask for all of you to take that into consideration. And ultimately, we all are grieving over this situation. So having said that, let's bring the jury in.
If you haven't turned off your cell phone or it's on mute, I don't see any cell phones.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that. I should have said that. All right, everybody may be seated. And has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor.
Okay, could you hand the verdict, hand it to Terry and she'll hand it over to me? Thank you. Make sure we have all the 6 pages. That's great. Okay.
State of Wisconsin versus Josie Dikeman, La Crosse County case number 23 CF 475. Count 1. We, the jury, find Josie Dikeman guilty of first-degree reckless homicide as charged in count 1 of the information. Verdict for count, signed by the foreman. Verdict for count 2. We, the jury, find Josie Dikeman guilty of chronic neglect of a child. Consequences is death as charged in count 2 of the information. Signed by the foreman. Count 3. We, the jury, find Josie Dikeman guilty of physical abuse of a child, repeated acts causing death as charged in count 3 of the information. Did at least one violation cause the death of the child? No. Did at least one violation result in great bodily harm to Alexander Pendren? Yes. Signed by the foreman.
So as to those verdicts, I'm going to ask you as a joint, you just say yes at first, but then I'm going to go through each verdict. The first question is that your verdict as a jury?
Yes.
Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each one. I'm going to poll the jury. Then I'm going to go through each one of you. I'm going to use numbers 1 through 7, 1 through 5 here, 1 through 7. to 14, or 12, excuse. So, first of all, juror number 1, is that your verdict as to count 1? Actually, the person behind you. All right. Juror number 2, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 3, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 4, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 5, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 6, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 7, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 8, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 9, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 10, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 11, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 12, is that your verdict as to count 1? Juror number 1, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 2, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 3, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 4, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 5, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 6, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 7, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 8, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 9, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 10, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 11, is that your verdict as to count 2? Juror number 12, is that your verdict as to count 2? And juror number 1, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 2, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 3, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 4, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 5, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 6, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 7, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 8, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 9, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 10, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 11, is that your verdict as to count 3? Juror number 12, is that your verdict as to count 3? As indicated, with that, members of the jury, you have completed your duty as your jury duty. Not only that, your duty for this trial. It's been a long 3 weeks. I want to thank you for your time. I do want to come back and talk to you a little bit. It's about some information we're handing out for these type of trials, basically about trauma and some other issues. So if you can't stick around a couple minutes, we should be there. We'll need to talk a little bit here as to what to do next, and I'll be right out. So thank you so much. We'll see you in a bit. Everybody may be seated. Obviously, first of all, the question for the state, any objection to how the court did the polling?
No, Your Honor.
Defense, any objection to how the court did the polling? Obviously, there's conviction for each one of these counts. It's not the, it's the lesser included. It's essentially on count 1 and 3. It's the original on 2. Because the convictions have been, well, Mr. Toverson, if you want to come on up, that's fine. The court will go ahead and, at this point, accept those verdicts. I'll enter them into the record. Court's going to order a pre-sentence investigation and order a sentencing. It's probably going to be more like 60 days, just simply for the complexity of this. Given the seriousness of these charges, given everything else, I am going to revoke the bond at this point.
I'd like to be heard on that, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Judge, since the state's primary witnesses, one of them is an admitted perjurer, the other two were obviously lying, given Ms. Dikeman's bond compliance throughout the course of this case, given the fact that the man actually responsible for this child's death is seated free in the back of this courtroom, we're asking that the court continue her bond while we prepare her sentencing.
State's position.
The jury's found her responsible for the death of this child. The presumption of innocence is gone. She should be remanded.
The court's remanding her into custody at this point in time on the basis, not only, I know she's been very compliant with bond, but these are very serious charges. She is found guilty at this point. I agree with the state. I think the other issue we raise is not for this court to decide. That's for a different forum. With that, the court will remain her into custody right now. As far as the case goes, we are concluded as of today. I'll get a date for the sentencing. There might be an alternative PSI, maybe.
Judge, a couple things. One, Ms. Dikeman maintains her Fifth and Sixth Amendment rights to silence and does not wish to be questioned by any law enforcement officer or agent of the state while remanded. Two, I'm asking the court to order that the PSI not come with a specific recommendation due to the anchoring effect and due to the fact that the recommendations vary widely and are inconsistent with State versus Gallion. Number three, I can tell the court that we're going to advise Ms. Dikeman not to cooperate with the PSI and meet with the agent. And number four, I am told that there should be some exculpatory reports that we have not received regarding at least 3 different witness interviews and the laboratory testing of the substance, which proved to be sucrose, allegedly. So I'm putting that on the record that we are still requesting those reports.
Okay. So obviously, I'm still going to order a PSI for the background information, even if she doesn't participate. As far as the issue of get a date, if you end up doing an alternative PSI, just let us know. Obviously, we need to give enough notice for everybody to be here for the sentencing, and plus for the victims to make their statements. Anything else today from the state's perspective?
No, thank you.
No, Judge.
Mr. Zachar. All right. So what I would ask is, why don't we have one of the families please leave, the other family stay here. Those in support of Ms. Dikeman, just stay here for a bit. Those who are other, please, if you want to go ahead, you can go ahead and file out. We just like you to sort of go at separate times. Correct, Brandon? We do that out of security just to make sure everybody's safe. All right, we're adjourned. Okay, I'll be back in.